All right. So I'm a little late, y'all. I'm a little. All right, let's get it started here. Glass is fogging up. All right.
Those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence only do so for the pleasure of mental masturbation or egotism. We do so because the chains of oppression and mind are deep and difficult to remove.
Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. Having a heck of a time today. My glass is fogging up, running late. Oh my goodness. What? Late? Who? Are you kidding? I'm here. I'm on time. All right. The most potent weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. That was a quote from Bantu Stephen Biko. And that is so true. It is through our mental enslavement that we have suffered the most. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, last week, as we were coming to the close of the show, shots rang out. We could hear them right here on the air, and anybody listening to the show probably heard them as well. Well, we got here, Marco. We're in the house. Okay, yeah. Probably heard them. Well, last week on Kirkwood Street, a 15-year-old girl was shot. She was taken to the hospital in critical condition. You have to wonder, what is the city doing about the shootings and killings? Because 82 people have been killed, 217 wounded by gun violence in Delaware in the past 365 days. The majority of those shootings took place in Wilmington. Yeah. So there have been, let's see, I got the information here, yep. So, hey, Nina, how you doing? That's my South African princess. That's right, my sister all the way from South Africa tuning into the show. I appreciate you, love you. All right. Like I was saying, this year, Wilmington has broken past records of the number of people killed. 82 victims of gun violence died. There were a total of 228 incidents, 209 wounded, 82 people killed. Stop it, Wilmington, for God's sake. I don't know what the city government is doing to approach this problem, especially considering that records have been broken on the violence now. I do know there are groups out there that are trying to do something about the violence. For instance, the community intervention team led by Darryl Wolfie Chambers, who will be a special guest after the first of the year. All right. WHGE 95.3 FM. Those and I.
The views and opinions expressed on the Open Eye are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE.
All right, Nina, I'm doing well. What's up, Vaughn?
Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye
All right.
hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to belong to any religion, ethnic group, company, or
Getting it going. Yeah. All right. Patrice Gibbs, your third eye optometrist, right here on WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. I'm going to lighten it up for you a little bit. How many of you have heard of Dickie Wells? Let me tell you why Dickie Wells is significant. Now, I know a lot of jazz fans are thinking of Dickie Wells, the trombonist. Now, that's not the Dickie Wells I'm talking about. Let me tell you about Richard Dickie Wells, known as Mr. Harlem. All right? Born in 1908, died in 1949. He was one of Harlem's most gifted dancers, nightclub owners, and last but certainly not least, his most notorious male gigolo and playboy. Wells was a man in his day responsible for driving women all across the country crazy. His career began in 1920. Self-taught, he was dancing with the Wells, Mordecai, and Taylor trio, who performed on street corners for nickels and pennies. Soon the trio was performing in upscale clubs, such as Small's Paradise, such as Small Paradise and the Cotton Club. Okay? When most black men were making $25 to $35 a week. Can you imagine that? Dickie was pulling down $500 per week performing at the Cotton Club on the west side of Harlem. Got people right now not making $500 a week. And that's where, according to legend, Dickie discovered that his female admirers weren't only interested in his dancing, but interested in him as well. Yes, indeed. By the late 1920s, Dickie was spending more time in the company of rich women than he was on stage performing. And tales of his extracurricular activities in the bedroom were beginning to spread. Soon women from all across the country were pouring into Harlem to meet the baby-faced dancer who was often mistaken for a Cuban due to his light skin and wavy hair. These women included Nina Mae McKinney, Joan Crawford, Tallulah Bankhead, Ava Gardner, and Lana Turner. Marguerite Chapman, who later married Willie Mays, and Jean Parks, sister of the founder of Parks Sausage, and many, many more. These mostly white women, too. They, in addition to several other women, lavished Dickie with expensive gifts, first-class trips around the world, and, of course, money. And lots of it, too. Lana Turner, in particular, became so demanding for you young people don't know Lana Turner. She was a major Hollywood actress, okay, major star. She became so demanding at Dickie's time, so much so that Dickie decided to introduce the blonde bombshell to his good friend, heavyweight champ Joe Louis, just to get her off his back. This would mark the beginning of Lana Turner and Joe Louis's love affair. And we're talking about the 30s now. It was said that Clark Gable, Earl Flynn, James Cagney, and one-time Harlem resident Charlie Chapman were all in competition with Dickie. Oh, yeah, this cat was something else. As Dickie's reputation grew, so did his interest in owning a Harlem-based restaurant. Dickie Wells, according to street legend, a rich female admirer of his fronted him the cash to start a supper club, which by the early 1930s became one of the most popular night spots in Harlem during the jazz age. All right? Now, since Dickie's club catered to the late night, early morning crowd, most of his customers were decided on whether to order dinner or breakfast. Well, Dickie fixed that problem by serving them a little of both. You know where this is going? Do you? So he would give them some coffee here, a shot of bourbon there, a plate of hot plate of chicken, and waffles. That's right. This odd but tasty dish became the new craze in Harlem, and everyone started to get in on the action. Actress Ethel Waters opened her own restaurant that served the dish, as did another Wells, J.T. Wells, who opened his famous Wells Supper Club, not to be confused with Dickie's Club, in 1938. But it was Dickie Wells who introduced Harlemites to the dish in 1930. Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffle is the most popular restaurant chain that continues to serve the dish. Its founder, Herb Hudson, was born and raised in Harlem, brought the dish to the West Coast in the 1970s. As for Wells, well, his life would not end on a good note for the Harlem Playboy. Drugs and alcohol cut his life short when he died from a drug overdose at the young age of 41 in 1949. When news in the California Eagle newspaper of his death spread throughout Hollywood, Ava Gardner, former wife of Frank Sinatra, cried for days while Tallulah Bankhead collapsed and fainted. Billie Holiday was scheduled to perform at his funeral, but was too distraught to do so. Over 40,000 people attended his funeral, and they were mostly women. Panach report writes that, according to Bumpy Johnson's widow, Mamie Johnson, Dickie used some of his gigolo fortunes to buy his mother, Carrie, a brownstone on Strivers Row, one of the most elite neighborhoods in Harlem. He moved into the basement apartment and lived there until his death. In the early years of the 1950s, during a post-funeral trial, Wells was accused of selling cocaine to actress Tallulah Bankhead, which may or may not have been true. The likelihood is she gave him money to buy some cocaine for both of them, being that, you know, they were lovers and what have you. Dickie Wells, the first man to come up with chicken and waffles in Harlem. Yeah. WHGE 95.3 FM. All right, Donald. I see you in there, brother. WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye. I'm your host, Patrice Gibbs. I will be joined soon by my partner in consciousness, Nsoromma, our intellectual surgeon. Okay, I'm still giving people a little light right now. Okay. All right. A couple of weeks ago, I heard about this 16-year-old high school student who had a hustle in his Detroit high school. He had used the bathroom for a barbershop. That's right. He was cutting hair in the boys' bathroom at high school. He was shut down by a teacher But one of the city's top barbers rewarded the hustle by offering the young entrepreneur some pointers and a new place to practice. Cameron Tucker, 16, told Fox 2 he was cutting a classmate's hair in the bathroom at the Renaissance High School during study hall Thursday of that week when in walked an unexpected visitor who wasn't seeking a fresh fade. In the middle of doing that, the teacher walked in, stared at us for 45 seconds, and walked out. I want to say, wrong time, wrong place. Cameron said he discovered his passion for cutting hair over the summer, first learning the basics from his Uncle Tuck, before honing his craft further by serving his earliest clients, which included friends and younger cousins. He recalled the exact words his uncle said to him before showing him the ropes. He said, "I'm going to show you one time. I'm not going to show you again." And I was like, all right. As Cameron's skills grew, he began showcasing his work by posting before and after photos on social media of haircuts he had given to cousins, soon expanding his clientele to include football team members and football teammates and fellow students. Business was booming for Cameron before the school served the up-and-coming barber a one-day suspension for setting up shop in the bathroom. "We need someone to come pick up Cameron. He's running a barber shop out of the third floor bathroom," his mother, Cassandra, was told during a call from the school soon after. "There's a line in there, hair all over the floor. He's got his whole setup there, like on the movie Barbershop." Young man had hustle. He was doing it where he could. Cameron said, although his efforts may not have been favored by the teacher who reported him, he received props from several school employees who appreciated his will and resourcefulness. While he was walking to the office and everything, all the administrators were like, "Look, I respect the hustle," and things like that. And one of those impressed by the young man's dedication was professional barber Sebastian Jackson, who was also 15 when he learned to cut hair and now owns the Social Club grooming company in Detroit. Jackson's regular clients include former NBA player Jalen Rose, rapper Big Sean, and R&B singer Dwell, all Detroit natives, as well as former Lions running back Reggie Bush and Jacques Bell. Jackson praised Cameron's work ethic, offering him an opportunity to continue sharpening his skills after the two were put in contact by Fox News 2. "You have become so good at your craft in such a short period of time," Jackson said. "I tell you, man, just based on hustle, if you're interested in apprenticing with one of our cosmetologists or myself, that's definitely an opportunity." Jackson has since become a mentor for Cameron, who said it was an honor to meet him, adding that it was definitely a learning experience, learning where he came from and his way to where he is now and where he's going in the future. 16 years old, showed initiative, hustle. Now his career and life is pretty much set. WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. Okay. Fun all day on the Open Eye. I'm Patrice Gibbs. You know, one of the things, especially for progressives, that attracted them to Biden, of course, Donald Trump was probably the biggest reason that most people voted for Biden. Not surprising. But one of the things that Biden promised was to cancel student debt. Now, Jack Califano said, every time I post about canceling student debt, I get the same replies that suggest it's because I'm greedy and irresponsible. But I don't have any student debt. I just can't help thinking predatory lender companies trap 18-year-olds in a lifetime of poverty is unethical and bad politics. Biden promised to do something about that. Promised to cancel student loans. Remember, Biden was one of the senators that was in on the vote to make it illegal to file bankruptcy to get out of student loan debt. He was an ardent supporter of the banksters that are running this scam. So why are you surprised that since he's got in office after making this promise, you don't hear nothing but crickets on that? Lined his pockets. Oh, Biden is was one of the poorest senators in the Senate, is still a millionaire with a goddamn mansion. Get out of here. Now, of course, you get people who say, well, why are you coming down hard on Democrats? Because, I mean, the Republicans are much worse. And don't get it mixed. I am in no way a supporter of the right-wing, conservative, racist, ignorant, traitorous Republicans. But, you know, I saw this post, and I think it speaks volumes to the difference between the Democratic and the Republican. A little boy asked his mother, Mommy, what's the difference between a Democrat and a Republican? She answered, I was like, all right, a Democrat is like this really nice aunt who promises to take you to Disney World. But then something else always comes up, and she's never able to come through. And the Republican is like this really grumpy uncle, and he tells you, there's no damn money for Disney World. But then you find out he went without you. See, you ain't going with the Democrats or the Republicans. What's wrong with you? The Democrats nor the Republicans give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about their constituents. You as a black person, you think they give a damn about you? Don't be silly. Don't be silly. Okay. Neither party, like we always say, like Nsoromma always says, they're two sides of the same coin. Of course, I like to compare them to, you know, crime families. That one crime family that's just a bit more vicious than the other. They're both going to screw you, but one's just not going to screw you over as bad as the other. WHGE 95.3 FM. Open eye. All right, all right. WHGE, the Advocacy Education Station. Oh yeah, you tune in here, you going to get an education. Now, you know, let's take a look at history again here. All right. Since the late 1400s, the European has been in power. 1492, of course, Columbus sailed to the west. It was around this time that Europeans started sailing to Africa. By the mid-1500s, Europeans were kidnapping Africans, taking them to the west, starting the Atlantic slave trade. Of course, the Arab slave trade had already started years before. That's where there was a time when black men ruled the world. And during that time, what happened was they didn't just rule the world, they civilized the world, which is something Europeans claim that they do now. In the studio setting up is Nsoromma. Let me pass him the camera there, the phone. All right. Look, for nearly 200 years now, white scholars have removed black people from Egypt. Chow chow, big ups. That's her. Nsoromma in the house. What's up, brother? Wah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, white scholars have removed black people from Egypt. They removed Egypt from Africa and Africa from world history. They have always taught that Egypt is in the Near East, the Middle East, the Mediterranean, even the Fertile Crescent. They have never informed the world that Egypt is and always has been on the continent of Africa. I can remember people asking me, hey, you ever been to Africa? You talk that black stuff all the time. You ever been to Africa? Yes. I've been to Egypt. Egypt's not in Africa. Stop watching them damn movies. You watch the damn 10 Commandments and think all them people in Africa look like you and Brennan Charlton Heston. Jeez Louise. Man. Now, while white publishers control everything written and taught about Africa, and often publish books stating that the ancient Egyptians were white, jeez Louise, no one except black people complained. However, since black people began publishing their own work and using the internet to tell our story, suddenly everyone is interested in setting black people straight by insisting that the ancient Egyptians were neither black nor white, but Arabs, like the Arabs of today. Wow. Oh, BS. Arabs invaded Egypt in the 7th century AD. Long after ancient Egypt civilization had declined and basically faded away. Arabs had no more connection to ancient Egypt than Europeans had to ancient America. Matter of fact, black people were in ancient America long before Europeans were. Black people were sailing to America before the European could even build a ship or build a house with windows in it. They wasn't even wearing shoes. Where the hell was they going? See, what you got to understand is Egyptology is not a science. Why don't we have Russianology or Greekology or Romanology or Americanology for that? Because Egyptology is an information control apparatus made by Western academics to try to steal our history. Nah. Yeah. Many have argued even if the ancient Egyptians were black Africans, modern African Americans who lay claim to Egyptian civilization are not akin to them because their ancestors were West Africans. See, this reflects a lack of knowledge about African history. Virtually all West African people trace their ancestry to the north, east, and ultimately to the Nile Valley. See, what we don't understand is, one, follow the migrations. Two, you got to look at the history of Africa. What they want to tell you is
Egypt was unique in Africa and what happened. Well, when Queen Ty, the beautiful black queen,
Right.
was ruling in Egypt, her cousin was ruling over in Libya with a civilization along the same lines. See, we understand that most white people and Arabs have great difficulty imagining black Africans to have laid the foundation for civilization, but that's what happened.
Trump just admitted that. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So we want our reparations from just his statement.
Just from that.
Let's go get it.
Did you know that the African Moors taught Europeans how to bathe and other hygienic rituals required in order to build a healthy society? These so-called rituals, now see, they made them rituals to convince and teach the Europeans to bathe. Because this is what's their mindset. Their spirituality, their religion, everything was set up on rituals.
Rituals sound evil.
Yeah.
When you say that.
The way you say it.
Yeah, right.
But they had to use that to convince these people to bathe.
Wow.
King Louis the 14th of France bathed twice. Not twice a
So
week.
is the Queen twice a year, right?
No, not twice a year.
Twice in his life?
Twice in his whole life.
Uh-huh.
Man, can you imagine how funky?
No, I mean, the Queen only bathed twice too. When
yeah,
she born and
Queen Elizabeth the First.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Do that still apply? Do that still apply in this time?
Well.
She ain't watched her since she 100 and what? How old is she?
No. Queen Elizabeth the First. This is Queen Elizabeth the Second.
I said, do that carry on? Which one is she? She Queen Elizabeth what?
The second. That's on the throne now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So she ain't did that. No, she ain't. That's ignorant.
I think she bathed a little more often. They have learned to bathe.
They lie.
But look, how many Hollywood stars recently came out and said they don't bathe every day?
Yeah, that's crazy too.
Ain't it?
Yo.
Jeez Louise, you don't bathe every day? Well, no, just a few. Man, stay your funky ass away from me. Good God of mercy.
Yo, crust building you, man.
I'm telling you.
Come on, man. They probably baby wipe or something. They do something. They might not take the bath, but
maybe they
got
burn
a bunch of baby wipes, right?
Yeah. I used to remember on the cartoons, Bugs Bunny, right? And Elmer Fudd would catch him and put him in a big pot of water. And he'd get in there and start bathing and say, they ain't even Saturday night. So, some of them
said, ain't Saturday night.
No, they ain't Saturday night. So some of them had learned to bathe, but they would do it at least once a week. Jeez Louise.
Sometimes you gotta do it at least every day. Sometimes you gotta do it twice a day.
Twice a day.
Anytime you use the bathroom, you're supposed to wash up and do whatever you
handle your business.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's how disease and phantom is spreading. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's just that simple.
Because you got to remember that what they were doing, not only were they not bathing, okay, but they were sleeping in the house and in the castles with the animals and everything.
Right, everybody stayed in there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
On top of which,
pigs, or the whole farm was in the house with you. Wow.
Now you in there and your wife done left and got mad at you for some reason and you're feeling romantic, but your wife is not there. But
Hey y'all, did y'all hear the setup to that? Did you hear Did you hear the setup plot, the plot of the story? Okay, what you say?
Okay.
And your wife wasn't there.
Your wife wasn't there. But Louie the Lamb is there.
Who? Louie the Lamb.
Louie the Lamb.
Oh, Lily.
Yeah. So you get romantic with Louie the Lamb. Oh yeah.
That's how they was making the half animal and half human back in the day. That when they was made like horses and all kind of stuff that was inside.
That's together. The mythology. You had centaurs that were, the upper half was horse. I mean, the bottom half was horse. The upper half was human, and what have you. But I don't think these people can actually mate and produce offspring. You know, but what they did produce,
What?
because you know what the root of all sexually transmitted diseases are?
What?
They all come from sex with animals.
Wow.
And the people that were having sex with animals were those Europeans. And when they spread out through the rest of the world, they spread STDs throughout the rest of the world.
Wow.
They were having, even now, what is it? I think it's in Sweden, where they had to outlaw animal brothels.
Wow.
Now, brothel, of course, is, you know, a cat house, a whorehouse.
Right.
People were paying money, going to these animal, male and female, going to these animal brothels to have sex with dogs and horses and all kind of stuff. This is in modern days now.
Right now.
Right now, this is going on right now.
Wow.
Where they had to pass laws in, you know, some of these European countries that was against the law to have sex with an animal.
Wow.
What in the world? What kind of sick person? Well, you know, you got to consider that these are the same people. And I know a lot of people think what I'm about to say is a conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy theory?
Yeah,
okay.
or mythology.
What would you gonna say?
They're cannibals.
Oh, you know that.
And we were a delicacy to them.
Oh, yeah.
When they went be on the slave ships, it took months to go from the coast of Africa to America, and they would run out of food. So what these Europeans would do is they would take some of those slaves out
Right.
of the hold of the ship and cook them up and eat them.
Oh, yeah. It was like, what's that? Fish eyes? Caviar.
Yeah.
We was like caviar to
them. We were a delicacy.
They wasn't just hanging us and burning us. They was hanging us and barbecuing us, and then everybody out there would take a piece of the person that was being burned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, who thinks like that?
Who thinks like
And
that?
then
They would fry when they would lynch a black person,
Wow.
and this was after slavery. When they would lynch a black person during the days of Jim Crow and lynching, they would lynch a black person, burn him, cut him up, cut out his vital organs.
Right.
The phallus they would keep for prize. Okay? And they would fry his liver and his kidney and cut it up and sell it. And these people would eat it.
Yeah, it's a delicatessen.
Yeah, a delicacy. Black people liver. A delicacy. Furthermore, right, this was real crazy. During slavery, when some of the slaves would die or be killed,
Right.
they would skin them and make purses and shoes and jackets out of them
Cheers.
and what have you.
Yeah.
And guess where those artifacts are? They're in the families of many of those descendants of the slaveholders. They still got some of our people's skin in the form of shoes and bags and jackets. Oh my God, man.
That's
Oh. And these are the people that say we're uncivilized, that they came to civilize us. You must be out your damn mind. Jeez Louise.
wow, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Oh, something I want to go over that we had talked about last week. And I brought notes on that because I didn't have none last
What you
last
think
time.
about the guy that killed all the people in the truck and thing in Colorado? The trucks is not going across Colorado. It's like a 60-mile long line of trucks that's not taking the products to other places throughout the United States because they're not crossing Colorado state line because they gave the boy that killed the 4 people 110 years in a car accident. It was a vehicular homicide, and his brakes gave out on his truck, and he smashed in the back of 24 people, and 4 got killed. And the judge said he gonna give him
time.
110 years. And a young lady just ran over 4 people, killed them, and the judge just slapped her on her wrist and gave her You know.
Was it 10 years or something like that?
It wasn't even 10 years.
Wasn't even that. Yeah.
I mean, this is the injustice. Yeah, the family members are gone. You know what I'm saying? You'll never get them back.
No.
But to say that's a ridiculous number, man.
Yeah, and especially, when you consider this was not intentional.
Right, and it all was an accident. He
Right.
had failure, vehicle brake failure.
Right.
And it wasn't his truck, so he was driving for a corporation. Like, why they didn't step in? Why? You see what I'm saying? He didn't have no drugs in the system or nothing like
Was
that.
he black?
Yeah, he wasn't white. He was a Mexican, Spanish.
Oh, okay.
He was
He was
black.
brown.
Yeah, he wasn't white.
He wasn't white.
What I'm saying? So that's, I mean.
Yeah, and see, you like you said, this is the injustice that's going on. And you look at the young rich guy that admitted that he raped 4 teenage girls.
Right.
He admitted it. And the judge said, I had to pray about it. And gave him probation. This is a monster, an animal.
But see, that's what I'm saying. This is how the judges do. They if they had a good day or they think you're a good guy, which they'll do what they feel and not go against
the law.
And they the ones need to be punished and focused on. You know what I'm saying? Because they can change your life in a click of a second.
How about that?
And just because you was mad at your wife, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you were there and
you didn't get no loving.
Right. Or she left you for a black guy. Now every black guy come in there, you give them the hardest sentence you can give them. Come on, man. I mean.
And that's their mindset. Well, we had talked about last week, and we're going to come back to judges because we got a situation there. We had talked about the Freedmen's Bank. Okay?
Okay, Freedmen's Bank?
The Freedmen's Bank that was founded after the Civil War.
Okay.
See, the American dream is deeply rooted in the belief that thrifting and saving are necessary means to an end that is comprised of prosperity and abundance. And this is what our people believe. And this belief, coupled with banking needs of formerly enslaved black soldiers, spurred the incorporation of the Freedmen's Saving and Trust Company in 1865. This bank is just what the freedmen needed, proclaimed Abraham Lincoln March 3rd, 1865, as he signed the Freedmen's Bank Act and authorized the organization of a national bank for ex-slaves. Here was the thing. The board that controlled this bank were white men.
Right.
And these white people saw an opportunity to get some money for themselves. So they were corrupt. And eventually they made the bank fail and stole $66 million. That was the Freedmen's Bank.
They took all the black people's money.
Took all the black people's money that they worked for. And now, like I said,
66 million.
66 million.
Back then.
So 66 million, that's like $4 billion now.
$5 billion
Right now. So when you think about your grandmother or your grandfather, and they would put their money in the bank, I know people right now.
Right, that don't do put their money.
No, they ain't putting no money in the bank because they'll put it in their mattress. They don't trust it. And they have a damn good
How do
reason.
you trust something that could shut down on you? You don't have no access to it.
How about that?
I put it over here, and once you close the door, it ain't. I have no access to it in no way.
Right.
So why would
I trust that?
I need it 2 a.m, not tomorrow morning that when you open up. You know what I'm saying?
And now they got these rules in where if you got a certain amount of money, you can't take all your money out the bank. Your money. And you can't take it all out the bank.
Come back. You want 1,500? No, come. I'll give you 5 today and come back every day for 2 more days, and you
get up to 1,500.
Huh?
Yeah. You know.
But give me my money.
No, we can't do that.
We can't do that.
We can't do that.
We can't give you nothing.
No.
Oh, okay. How about the building burning down?
You know?
You got insurance for that?
That's right. I want to close my account. We'll give you a cashier's check.
Oh.
Remember the rapper that went and drawed $100,000 out the bank? And they called the cops on him.
Yeah.
He drew the money out of his own account.
Right.
This was his money. And they said, oh, he's doing something funny.
And then they do that too with, black people when they work and they got a good job and they go in there and their check is like $80,000.
Right, we talked about last week?
Call
the cops on him. No.
Call the cops on him.
This
He
is fraud.
get tased and beat with the Billy Club and all this other stuff. And he only going in there to cash his check.
His own money.
And then none of them get prosecuted or persecuted for.
Oh, that bank manager that called the cops on that brother, he got fired.
Well, he needed to get beat up.
Or something, Now, something else is going on.
Get fired and go to another bank.
That's about the size of it.
Right.
Okay, you all heard of by now Michelle Odenak. Who is Michelle Odenak?
Michelle Odenak.
Yeah, she is a city court judge in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Okay.
Well, she was on video. Her house, not her house, I guess it was her garage. Her car was being broken into, her family car or something or another.
Right.
Right? And they were looking at the video of the aftermath of this incident.
Mm-hmm.
And she's sitting up there, her and her family, her husband and her children. We got that N-word. Oh, N-word this, N-word that.
I seen that video, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, you might have thought that she was at the local Klansman's rally. The way she was N-word this and N-word that and N-word this and N-word.
I seen that, yeah.
Michelle Odenak.
And she was a judge.
And she's a judge. Okay? She took administrative leave on her own, okay, without pay. She did this on her own. Okay? And she said that her family's not like that. They're not racist like that.
Sound like it to me.
And what happened was that immediately after the incident, she had a sedative, and she doesn't even have any recollection of the whole incident. Lady, are you on drugs? Well, that's what you said. Okay, I've seen people on sedatives. Okay, and when they are sedatives, they're not all effervescent and lively, talking about N-word this and N-word that, and N-word this and N-word that, and call the man a roach, and lie, and say he was armed. Oh, yeah, she a piece of work. She a piece of work. It's amazing how these sedatives and alcohol make people racist.
No, it bring out the racism. It don't make people racist. It's already in you, and that's when you get the heart to spill out. Alcohol give you heart. You know what I'm saying? That's why I can't drink. I get violent when I drink alcohol. So I don't touch it. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that.
Because I carry a rage in me for that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I am one of the warriors from the 70 Babies. I'm a 70 baby, and we didn't play that at all.
I heard that.
You know what I'm saying?
No, we did not.
No, we did not.
And
now, the world has gotten soft, and the people are not respect. We demanded respect when we were coming up. It was like you couldn't do and say certain things around us because we didn't play that.
That's right.
And now, everybody calling themselves the N-word and making it a jolly thing. It's not a jolly thing.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
It made me think what's the brother's name?
What?
David Banner. He said he was talking to a white friend of his.
Right.
And he asked this white friend about using the N-word. And he said, back in the day, would you use the N-word around us? He said, no. He said, why not? Because y'all would beat the hell out of him.
That's right.
That's right.
And he knew that.
He knew
that. So that made the word
dangerous to use.
Right. So if that word dangerous to use and you say that, you know you can get beat down by 10 people that's around you. Everybody want to hit because you said that. Everybody gets a hit. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even a question.
That's right.
If you said it, everybody get a hit. Period. Boom. So it's like they dance to saying it. They put a beat to it. You know what I'm saying? And,
word. Now here's the thing about that judge. Okay, she got caught this time because there was video of it. How many times when there was not video, when she was at home relaxing?
Not even at home.
Well,
Back of the court after she
Right.
talks to the people and go back there and discuss her stuff with each other back there. They all white people back there.
That's
There's no
right.
black people back there when they're discussing all of that. Even the Bellas that's black most of the time, he's not in the room.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
they in there talking among themselves,
Calling
they
the
calling
N-word.
all kind of saying all kind
Right.
of stuff.
Well, the reason I brought up about her being at home,
Right.
because how many times did she get home and tell her husband, boy, I gave a couple of N-words a whole lot of time today. You know?
That's
right.
right.
And that's the thing. All her cases got to be reviewed now. Because she said that word like it rolled off her tongue like it's something she do all the time. So, like you said, was she in the judge's chamber saying, hey, I know that N-word didn't really do it, but we've got one and we're going to give him some time.
Nah, but we told Frank down here in Texas jail that we going to supply him with 13, 14 criminals so they can get that road built down there. We got to send them some prisoners.
Word. How about that? How about that?
Yeah. This is a monopoly, dog. They're not playing.
That's word. And like Nsoromma said, walking down the road, minding your business. And the next thing you know, the cops done pulled up on you. See, it makes me sick that we have to put out a PSA on how to survive interaction with the justice system and the police. In my grandparents and my parents' day and age, they had to travel with a book called the Negro Motorist Green Book in order to travel safely. Black people away from home had to know what and where to avoid to maintain dignity and safety. Where to find lodgings, food, accommodations. What sundown towns to avoid. And what roads to never ever travel. Now you must know how to just walk down the street and make it safe home, knowing this does not guarantee your safety. Now the damn thing has changed. Now this judge, what is she doing now? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, can you forgive me? Oh, forgiveness. Oh, forgive me. Are you kidding? When you done sent some brother to jail for nothing for an umpteen number of years? You know what? I'm not a forgiving man. You heard me say this before. If you slap me and apologize, my face still stings. If you have oppressed my people, my grandfathers, grandmothers didn't survive that oppression. And my brothers and sisters are still incarcerated. My sons and daughters are still being murdered, and your children are still benefiting from the privilege of my stolen labor. I'll be damned if I forgive a goddamn thing. I have never been forgiven for being born black, nor do I ask to. It was a blessing to be black. My darkness is a blessing and an honor. I was burnt in God's own furnace. And you kiss my black ass. Matter of fact, kiss my proud black ass. Now, I've been told I'm better than this. That my vocabulary far exceeds the provocative language that I often use.
Okay.
You know what? I could write a 10-page essay with $20 and $30 words on why the African should never forgive the slightest transgression committed against us.
Right.
Not today. Kiss my ass.
Oh. You know, my boots been missed off of them.
I know.
So bear with me. I'm trying.
You know, time flies. I was a little late myself.
Oh, word?
Yeah, I got caught up on some things at the crib.
Okay, yeah.
Damn, if it ain't time for us to go, Nsoromma.
Oh, Lord. That thing be going quick.
Man, it be going quick, man. That's word. Well, like we always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you
As an option.
WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in next week. You dig? Yana! Thank you guys. What's good? Hey, yo, Donald, Vaughn, Nina, yo, what's happening? Glad y'all tuned in, you know what I'm saying? Barbara, yo, Danielle, what's happening? Arnold, hey, yo, hey, William, I told you, link up with me in the inbox, you know what I'm saying? Zach, Sean, word, you there? Marissa, what's up, babe? What you up to, Marissa? Ain't nothing. You told me you held me there, you know what I'm saying? You know what's up with us, you know what I mean? You there? Okay. Alright, hey yo, Brother Pat, there you go. Yo, look, I want to thank y'all personally for tuning in, you know what I'm saying? Nsoromma in the building. I appreciate y'all to the fifth power, you know what I'm saying? Good looking out. WHGE.
All right. Hey, I want to give a shout out to a lot of people that made contributions to the show.
Right.
All right, such as Nina, my man Vaughn, my sister Tracy Johnson, brother Jardea. Hey, I want to thank y'all and big ups to my man Seti. Peace. See you on the next one.